Hi everyone on YouTube. This is Nagan making another one of my live come alive YouTube streams. It's been a while since I've been back on here, and I apologize for adjusting the LED light on my new table that I got from Rent-A-Center. So it was a wonderful deal. Um, $300 for a very nice office chair. I could take off my jacket so you guys see what I'm talking about. It's just a basic brown, um, just a basic brown office chair. I believe the material is made leather, and the Cetos, our distraction, is already going at it. Even though I do buy her cat scratchers, right? And she has the option to go outside and walk around. And I heard for the most part that cats filed their nails just on the sidewalk. But she has a thing for clawing at our leather sofas, which of course nobody wants that. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling the back of my chair, and I feel these little dots, which is her paws, and I'm wondering if they're really bad. Well, I mean, they're it's not pretty, but it's not a lost cause. You can always reupholster, chairs, and just I also have a water bottle. It's a good way to discipline your pets, dogs or cats. Just spray them like this, and it works. For some reason, they take it as a don't do that. This is a definitely clear indicator of bad behavior. Don't do that. Stop. I spray my pets with this because it works better than other forms of punishment like spanking them. And there's warnings of dog leashes. The ones that kind of closes up when the dog pulls on the leash is not good. Yeah, I don't believe in cruel and unusual punishment. So I spray her like this. It's not painful, but she knows it's my signal because that's like for her to back off. I usually spray her, not disrespectfully, like in the face or anything like that. Although I heard for cats, especially for cats, just saying no like that and kind of tapping on their nose or their forehead, it's clear, don't do that. But I don't spray directly into her face. I spray pretty much in her buttocks area, where you would go in and spank the child. It works. Just the fact I hold it up, it's painless. She knows it's my little signal to, stop her inappropriate behavior. But all in all, I love my table from Rent-A-Center in Anaheim on Lincoln and State College. I went in there just to say hi to the people who work there because they knew my last dog that passed away, some of the movers. And I saw this beautiful light blue wooden, this cute study table. Um, and, I was like, oh, I could use one of that, right? Because if you don't have a good, steady table, you really can't really go far in your studies. And I was actually studying on since I'm in my family room, I was actually studying on a desk, what do you call it? A drawer, a clothing, like the end tables beside beds. I was actually studying on that. So now I actually have my own desk. Nothing fancy, and that's what caught my eye of this table. It was very simple. It was cute. This light, especially light and wood. I think I was drawn to the end table because it was like a hard vintage wood, which vintage items tend to be more well made and the wood more sturdier, but it also was a problem too when the movers came and removed it. So I saw this table at Rent-A-Center. What caught my eyes was that it was very light blue and the wood was light and it was just simple and cute table. Not too big, not too small, because at the end of the day, you are what make your study succeed, not the table. So it's just a nice table. It hangs a little bit, I don't know, a good 3 inches over from the right side of the wall into the restroom, but that's okay. And you a lot of it is making the most of the space you're given. And I'm in my family room, so the base of the computer goes under the table instead of the sides, and under my feet I put a little Rosito's little cat bed that she outgrew and is for her babies. Just for them, cats like to snuggle and they're like nooks and corners. So just being under the table where I study, I thought they might like that. And I also like the fact while I'm studying, they could just be down there. And then to my left, just to show you, this is actually better than a table with a drawer because it doesn't have closed-in drawers. It's pretty much open. And you could see that as a downfall about this feature, but I like it because it came with a basket and as a drawer, and I removed the basket and I put it in my backyard, and I have I want to put plants to ward off flies back there, like marigolds, and I heard Home Depot sells them. So I'm going to do a little marigold plant thing back there where I feed the baby's father. He is fat. I call him Fat Boys. And so it leaves these 2 drawers on the left open, right? So I think a lot of people would say, well, that's not good, right? But I like it because you can interchange, what baskets you want to put there, the style, the size, the purpose. Right now I have 2 like gray and white soft baskets that I used to have on the shelf over there, and they serve as my drawers. So you don't need to have like an actual closed-in drawers, like with doorknobs. And that was one of the downfall of my last clothing drawer that I was staying on, the drawer broke, the doorknob. So the lower one, and I couldn't get it to open. I had to actually pry it open with some chopsticks, and then it completely broke. So I didn't have anything pretty much to even put the chopstick in to open it. But the movers were very helpful in helping me with that. So this is actually better. It's actually better. The table is a little bit less shaky because I did put these, what do you call, floor scratcher thingies. Serves as two-purpose from scratching the floor and also to prevent the table from kind of locking. But there's nothing perfect in life. You see the table jiggles just a tad bit. It jiggles. Ooh, it jiggles just a tad bit. It jiggles just a tad bit. So if you guys have any ideas how to stop that, I mean, maybe there's some nuts and bolts under here that I can tighten. Yep, there are nuts and bolts on there that I'm going to tighten. I think that's going to help stabilize the table a little bit. But all in all, I love the table. For $300, you can't beat it. And they asked me, I think, like $5 down, which was like my last $5. So you can't beat that. And then they delivered it, and they break up the payment for you, right? I already paid like my first 100. Got 2 more months ago, and I love the chair. The fact that you get a leather chair to go with this is a great deal, because most leather chairs are expensive themselves, but you are getting this chair to go with the table. And one last thing I wanted to bring up that I like about the table, other than the interchangeability of the left side, drawers, right, or baskets you can put in there to hold stuff, books, whatever. I like the fact that this table is a very light, like sky blue. And if you ever get bored of that and want to change it pink, or just want to do a clean off-white or black, you can. So those were some of the things that were running through my mind. And just the fact that my last clothing drawer that I was studying on, I can't believe I was literally studying on that, but just show you that you can still be a great student and make it to honors, even if you were studying on a box of cardboard, right? It's more dependent on the student than the table. So that's my first topic of discussion. My next topic is I have returned here from a long break because I've been busy working. That's something I will talk about. And school. That's something else I will talk about. And just as I promise, every time I do a live stream, I pledge to say or do something of an interaction that enlivens people's lives, right? Because we don't want to hear, as I see many YouTube videos, people was talking about really negative and crazy. You don't even know if it's real or factual kind of stuff on YouTube. Um, so I don't know what I should talk first. So let's talk about Facebook. I recently got off of Facebook again, and this time there is no going back. There's no going back because, by definition, I really believe insanity. Okay, the difference between insanity and just mere craziness is that somebody who is insane, there's no going back for them, right? They are incurable. They're not going to comprehend. They're not going to cut out what they do, right? Yeah. Yeah, the severity. So recently, Facebook again, I came back on because I don't know what I was thinking. I came back on, and I think I came back on as a joke. And it happened again, where I posted this Thai fighter in Jean-Claude Van Damme's movie Kickboxer. I think the fighter, his name is Bach something. And I posted him because, for one, Muay Thai is a form of martial arts that it's intense. There is probably one of the most lethal forms of martial arts, Muay Thai. And the guy in the movie The Boxer, the Thai fighter that was fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think his name is Bach something. He is intense, and being Facebook is not an academic platform, right? Proven by my Stanford book that I was teaching English honors off, which I might hold off until I actually take English honors, so I can tell you guys more stuff. The author, Andrea Lundberg, said that Facebook doesn't qualify as academics because it's an ads-based, right? And it's not academic. So, I mean, what can you say in a post? And usually, like a postcard, if I'm doing uppercase on Facebook, I try to make it marginal. And I'm very, succinct. And sometimes I'm not totally all grammatically correct because I'm more focused on the margin. So I think I mentioned that I was joking around and I said, don't hate Asians, right? They're just crazy. Like this Thai fighter. And the Facebook said that I was doing a hate speech, which to me, a hate speech would be like, actual speech, where you're like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like super long, like I hate Asians. And obviously that wasn't what I was doing. And they will blame it on an AI system. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think Mark Zuckerberg is behind it. He's behind a lot of all this. And so that's what happened. And of course, with my American Gov study with Dr. Timothy Murphy at Santa Ana College, I learned that Facebook is not even in the glossary of our book. So for the most part, Our American Gov book doesn't even consider Facebook to be American. Why? Because they violate our Constitution, First Amendment, freedom of speech, very first one, which hate speech is protected. Okay, so basically, the two divisions that I learned in my criminal justice, because I'm a criminal justice major, is what is legally wrong and what is morally wrong, right? So, on a moral standpoint, you can say, yeah, you shouldn't hate Asians, right? It's not nice, you know, whatever. But is it illegal? No. I can say I hate Chinese food. That's not illegal. Okay. It is protected and not punishable according to our First Amendment. Okay. What isn't legal, of course, is hate crime. It's when you hate somebody or something and you go and commit a crime based on that hate. And it could be a minor offense. Example, I think I saw something silly. It might have been on Facebook where some guy, he didn't like Muslims or whatever, and he put fresh bacon at a mosque everywhere for them, and the courts deemed it as a hate crime and punished him. And he looked back upon it, and he didn't think there was much of it, but the courts considered it a hate crime, and he got chalked up for it, and he felt the punishment was a little bit more severe, than what he was actually doing, which is as ridiculous as it sounds, putting bacon, like uncooked bacon, all over these Muslim mosques, because like in their culture they don't like to eat pork. Oh gosh, my kitties are eating my cords, this one, so I got to be very careful. My kitty has kitties, so I have to child-proof everything. You guys see how they're biting into it? I got a safety kitty everything now, and spray them too, punish them too. They need to know what's right and wrong. So that's what happened on Facebook, and I know my rights, So it's a pretty apparent Facebook has a history of doing wrong stuff, and they still do. And I know my rights. So I exercised it, and I posted about how, hate speech is not punishable under the First Amendment and is actually protected. And that frankly, I don't even care if Facebook suspends or whatever, delete my account, which they said they would suspend my account. Care less. Honestly, ever since I even found out about Facebook, since it's built, I care less. I didn't even know why I was on there, and now I know it's just about ads, and making money for this Mark Zuckerberg that's in question. And this is what he resorts to doing, to make money. He is what I coin a data scrapping billionaire, an embarrassment. So I basically exercised my rights, and I said no, they're not going to suspend my Facebook account. I'm going to delete the Facebook app, which is what I did. So I will tell you the process of deletion of Facebook. Of course, you have to have the correct password. Of course, they tell you a bunch of things that are very confusing and very complex, but they're not, okay? If you really want to end your a Facebook relationship, it's very simple. So you put in your password, you click delete your account, and you need to go into your phone settings. And that is where you will find out where a lot of Facebook in question data breaches. So even though you deleted your account and deleted your app, if you go into your phone setting, you'll see there's 3 remaining whatever related to the Facebook app. And I think that's where a lot of data breach happens. And I don't care to understand all of that. All I know, this is the way you end your relationship with Facebook. Go into your phone settings. Even after you deleted your account in the app, you will see that they still have 3 whatever in relationship to Facebook in your phone. So all you're going to do, you're going to go in and of course clear your caches, clear your data. And the most important thing on the upper right, you want to click what do you call it? Uninstall the app. Uninstall the app or whatever option it is to terminate your relationship with them. Uninstall the app, stop the app, right? Deny this and that. Do all the above. Leave them, okay, with nothing. So they can't go on bragging about how they're billions of dollars data scrapping of whatever. Embarrassing is what it is. Embarrassing. And it's insane. It's insane. Yep. So that's what's happened. I went back on Facebook as a joke. But guess who gets the last laugh? I do. So that's Facebook. In my previous videos, I did bring up from the top major things why you should delete Facebook according to my American Gov is that Mark Zuckerberg took a foreign bribe from Russia in a presidential election. Hey, locals! Hold on 1 second. Local cabeza! Hey! What is it? Don't make me spray you. So these are the top reasons why you should consider deleting Facebook. Because a face without integrity, right, is has no face value, right? So some of the things that's been brought up in my American Gov book is that Mark Zuckerberg is guilty of accepting Russian money for presidential election involving Hillary Clinton. He's guilty of propagating false news and politically prompting things. He is guilty of accepting money from other countries to interfere with elections in the United States, which is completely illegal, and he knew it. And he paid restitution for it. He's guilty of not only propagating false news, but lies and what they call like attacking the United States. Okay. Um, he is guilty, all right, of making law enforcement look like they're the lawless ones. Um, Top example is he says he will not allow Homeland Security, all right, to do their job, even if it involves going undercover on Facebook. Okay. But according to this is what I want to shoot down at the get-go. According to their community, right? The United States is not their community. Okay. I don't care how much money he makes from data scrapping. Okay. The United States is not their community or Chan, right? Priscilla Chan of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, which is delusional. Um, so not only does he accuse, for example, that law enforcement are the lawless one, he said that he doesn't allow, let's say like Homeland Security, to go undercover, okay, to tackle crimes online, which Homeland Security, like the FBI, has that jurisdiction. And that's something they do. And they've solved a lot of online crimes doing just that. So as you can see, Mark Zuckerberg, top of the list, he's unconstitutional. He is guilty. Okay, he's criminal. And he challenges our criminal justice system and law enforcement. I would say those are the top 3 reasons why you should get rid of him, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Not to mention that they will data scrap, sell your information out. They hire what's called a behavioral analyst. I love the way they professionally coin stuff. So essentially, they're spying on your every move. What you say, what you don't say, what you like, what you don't like, where you go, where you come back, right? And actually, there is a video on YouTube where a congressman had a total diagram of exactly how Facebook studies us, right? Or, because his mom is a psychiatrist and he studies psychology. And that's fine, but it's not fine when you use it against people and for profit. So this congressman had this whole diagram, in detail of how he observes people, which I think is really creepy. So those are the top 3 reasons, other than the fact I have every right to say I think he's a little bit crazy, or should I say a lot. There is many examples, and I am not going to talk for other people. For myself, this incident, and just a little from the big things, to the little things. Ever since I've been on Facebook, and I will reiterate some of the insane things that Facebook has done to me. They accuse me of typing too fast because I wrote that I used to live in Lubbock, Texas. They said I was typing too fast and abusing their system. Now, if that isn't insanity. I don't know what is. You know, they accuse me of sending out too many photos. You know, and my photos were of the same photo of my dog, maybe at least 5 times. They said it's too many. Compared to I don't know how many photos and posts and stuff Facebook does to generate billions. They're insane. Um, when I posted it, I like to talk about educate people and academics, and the art of being smart. They said I was spammy. And if you look up what Google means, spam means something malicious and sent out to the mass, which I wrote that for me on my profile. It was for me, and there was nothing malicious about it. If there's anybody that's malicious, it's Mark Zuckerberg. You go way back when on YouTube, there's a lot of YouTube when he started Facebook, and it wasn't just him. It was him and 2 other guys. Mark Zuckerberg has always been very malicious, whereas it's all about him. He wants to monopolize. And, I'm trying to connect everything and make sense out of it all, right? Because there's a lot of people that get off Facebook and they rant and rave about it, and it makes absolutely no sense. They know they want to get off Facebook, but you don't really understand why. And I want everybody to understand why I got off of Facebook and why they should. That's why countries, okay, there's 3 countries that will not accept Facebook. Syria, okay, China and Korea, and Iran. Why? Because, for one, China, they don't like girls, right? And Priscilla Chan, and now they have the what do you call it, Chan Zuckerberg initiative, whatever the hell that is, coming into China, right? Controlling the communist people in China. I don't think so. It's not going to happen. That's why Mark Zuckerberg said that China never gave him a chance. And they never will. Okay? They never will. Facebook is not going to go into China, all right, or Korea, right, or Syria, or Iran, and tell people what they can and cannot, right, think and write about. It's not going to happen. Okay. So those are some of the things: typing too fast, being spammy, sending too many photos of my dogs, facial recognition, really weird. Out of the blue, they just wanted my driver's license, which they took forever to check, and then ended up deleting my account for no reason. But I know they do have a reason, and their only reason is money. Okay. And if your account is ever suspended or deleted, it's because your account is not generating ads and money for them. And that's something that I want to explain to everybody out there who's ever been suspended, deleted, right, hanging with Facebook. And they're like, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't fall into their algorithm of this data scrapping billionaire embarrassment named Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, it is what it is. And the fact that you look on Google, people are constantly complaining, and there's no response. This biggest app in the world, no phone call response, no Gmail response. Nobody's actually in the building. Weird, strange. And then recently I read an article where they said Priscilla Chan, she's like $1 billion rich, like Mark Zuckerberg too now. And they can't really figure out what she's doing or who she is. Like, is she pediatrics? Is she pediatrics retired? Is she an entrepreneur? Is she a little bit of both? Like, what the hell is she doing and how she's getting all this money, right? Strange, if you ask me. All of it's very strange. And usually, uh, what I've learned in psychology as a student and as somebody who's actually a patient, um, strange things like this is like a roller coaster ride. Anybody who's making billions of dollars, of course, is going to go on a mania and a high, and then it will, right, fall off the cliff. Let's just put it that way. And that was some of the predictions on YouTube. That's what's going to happen to Facebook. And that's what happened recently. They had an article where their system just crashed, right? And they were like boo-hooing the last several days. There was malwares on Facebook and they couldn't make money and they lost several $1 million. And yeah, that's all I care about. Yeah, I'm having to turn on my Wonder Boom. It's a little different. And don't, they try to, say, oh, like we make all this money and we give it away. They're like, so what? The manner at which they make money is still in question. It's still in question to this very moment. It's still in question. So what if they make millions and billions of dollars and they take some of it and give it away, right? It doesn't matter. They're still in question. Insanity. One of the chief complaints of mine, since I'm a criminal justice major with Facebook, is that we live in a country that everybody is innocent until proven guilty, right? And apparently not with Facebook. Facebook is the reverse. You are guilty, and there's no way for you to prove your innocence. They'll just flag you for stuff, and there's no jury, right? There's no judge, there's no fair hearing, nothing. And it's petty, petty stuff, and their way of punishing people is very stupid. Where when your account is in suspension, you cannot make comment. So this is basically a direct attack on freedom of speech, but they'll allow you to message, right? Use Facebook Messenger, right? But you cannot make public comment, which is a complete violation of freedom of speech. You cannot thumbs up, thumbs down, like anything. That is a violation of freedom of speech. Okay? To tell people that they have to love everything in life and they don't have a right to hate anything, that is a direct violation of freedom of speech. At the heart of our country. It's not their community. Okay. And now I'll just leave it at that. Facebook is an ongoing issue. Okay. We can sit here and talk and talk and talk, till no ends. But they're not going to get the upper hands with me. And I was going to say, before I got off of Facebook, I wanted to make sure I left nothing for them to data scrap. So I literally went back and deleted every single, of course I saved them, every single photos, right? And every single post, every single video, whatever I liked, YouTube deleted everything. They don't deserve it. They do not deserve it. One of the things that I learned in my current math class with Professor Liu at Zen College, excellent. She's Asian, Chinese, very clear speaking, very great at explaining things, best teacher, okay, is you, and this is across the board for all my teachers, even in U.S. history, Professor Guzman, who is Hispanic, you have to take things within context, okay? Like you could say 2001, right? But 2001 of what, right? Are we talking about aliens showing up in the sky? Are we talking about how people are frustrated with the golden stimulus not being given to everybody, specifically, to people on SSI and SDI? Like, what context, right? Because that changes everything. What Facebook flagged me, thought I was like giving a hate speech. If you look at it in terms of the whole context of my Facebook, yeah, their allegations was completely unsupported whatsoever. If you're going to say, hey, somebody murders somebody, you're going to have to at least point out 2 or 3 pointers in court, right, to really support that. And when Facebook is like, hey, you just committed a hate speech, right? And the rest of your Facebook, right, I'm just posting about my schoolwork and photos of my kitties and, you know, I'm posting about like tea tree. Obviously my page isn't about hate, and they know it. So hold on one second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. Recently I was in urgent care and I was given some equivalents to metformin for my diabetes. And, it does break down glucose, but it also breaks down your bowel movement. So, yes. It's a good and bad thing. I mean, this is good because it shows it's breaking down stuff. There's proof there, but it's bad because, um, uh, it's, I think the medication is something you have to take when you're awake. Because if you take it like when you're sleeping and you're like constantly having to run to a restroom, is not a good idea. So a lot of medication, since my dad was a professor in pharmacy, is taking it as prescribed and at appropriate time. So, if you want to appreciate your sleep and not be up all night having to run and use the restroom, I would definitely take your metformin, although they say take it day and night. You could take 2 in the daytime, just as long as it's in your system. And the same with any medication that causes drowsiness. It's definitely good to help you go to sleep. So anyways, back to what I was saying, and I was on a good point. Look at it in terms of an intellectual debate. If we, like, for example, if we allow people in church, right, freedom of religion, to tell people about how much they love about God and, example, Christianity, right, and America and how our country is based on that, if it was really equal in our country, then people have a right to express why they hate something. That's how I see it. And according to the Stanford book, it was actually debated over at a college and a university, and it was allowed that the people who were like white supremacists, right, were allowed to express their views on campus in hopes that it was a social learning for both parties. What is an exemption is that when people make hate speech, right, and it crosses the line of actually, right, like wanting to hurt somebody. Of course, that is where you should draw the line. But I think the thing is, now that I'm learning more and more about researching and fact-based, right, instead of just popular views and going by what we feel at an hour, I say we live in a Disneyland world where you mention the word hate and people are like, don't hate me. But, how I see it, why don't you hear them out? Why don't you hear them out? And let them express, why they don't like you. Right? And maybe there could be some social learning there. And some, as I learn in the Creator Academy, and I would like YouTube to set me up again for my Creator Academy. um, is before any topic of discussion, okay, we need to remind ourselves we have things in common, right? Before we start discussing about our differences. First and foremost, we have things in common. One thing, we're all human, and that's something in psychology research children got, okay? They put water, right, in uh, the glasses. The glasses had the same ounce, they were shaped differently, and the researcher asked the children, which is better? And the children got it. They said, none of it is better. It's just water, and you change the glasses. Okay? That's the same thing with humans. None of us is better. If children can get it, I don't know why that is so hard for adults. I guess growing up, they have been taught wrong. All right? And here's a chance to unlearn that. And don't take it as an insult. Nobody's better. We're all humans stuck here on the planet together, whether we're short, tall, fat, skinny, right? Asian, Arabic, Latino, black, white, any kind of Asian, right? Syria, Armenian, Persian. We are all humans. We are all souls in this vessel called the body. Nobody's any better. And then the researcher went on to asking the children, well, now we're going to change the color of the water. And they asked the children, which one's better? And the children got it again. They said, none of them is better. It's still water. And you went and changed not only the glass, you went and changed the color. Still the same. I think we need to be reminded of that very important research in our life as adults. Nobody's better than anybody else. And social learning is exactly that. We are all here to learn together, and it doesn't happen unless we socialize and we're allowed to say what's on our mind, what we love or what we hate, and everything in between. You know, nobody gets hurt in the process. There's no crime. Then everything is on the table for discussion. That's how I see it. And on a final note, since it's an hour, my discussion of the movie Kickboxer, and I will provide the link with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bach, the fighter in the movie. Exactly what I said on Facebook. I said, don't hate Asians. I was trying to be funny. I said, don't hate Asians. They're just crazy. Like this fighter, this Thai fighter, he's crazy. But the thing is, I didn't hate him. I actually like him as a fighter. When you watch the link that I will post on my live stream, you will see this Thai fighter. Let's just say he's somebody you would think twice about fighting. So I didn't hate him. I actually liked him. So Facebook is totally wrong again. Do I accept their apologies, repeated apologies like other people? Nope. I'm not going to. It ends with me, not with their community. Okay. So they could take their community, right, and the little island they bought, leave the United States. Their community is not our country, part of our country, the United States of America. Okay? They're not going to change that. All right, with that said, I will say goodbye. I'm glad to be here on YouTube and structure my live stream again. And as YouTube taught me, I will say goodbye. Thank everybody for being here. Please like and share my video. And to remind you guys to turn on your notifications of your favorite YouTubes. And don't forget to subscribe to take advantage of YouTube premiums and music. And what I hope to get is their cable through T-Mobile. With that said, I wish everyone have a good night.